Hello everyone, this is Max. You're watching EquityMatch online live pitch event. Today, as always, actually today is number 126, so we are very much proceeding fast to 150. So how many funders we brought on stage up to now? Probably more than 500. So let me introduce our funders and of course investor guests. I'm going one by one. Here we are. Our four founders today are Daniela Desa, Willa Maritz, Wilson Savagnago, and Ali Shail. And our investor guest is Tom Bailey. Tom, before we start with our founders, could you please give an introduction to yourself? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Max. Thank you, EquityMatch, for having me today. Really on to have such a cool introduction. There's a very long paragraph on this slide, but I'm a CRO of an advertising company called Red Peak by day, investor and advisor by night. So I work with Feld Capital. We are a UK, London-based angel syndicate. We back approximately 20 startups a year. At the pre-seed or seed stage, we back company with and without revenue, and with no particular vertical thesis, but we do back exceptional founders and try to go incredibly deep on due diligence, on see what is the glimmer of brilliance. So that's what I'm looking for, hopefully to give some helpful feedback as well. To founders and hopefully to find some investable opportunities. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you so much for being with us, spending your knowledge, skills, and time. Of course, time is so precious today, as always. So I'll move to first funder. Before starting, anybody that wants from our audience asking any question, please do it through the messaging tool, and we are more than happy to bring the questions to our founders or investors. So let me start with funder number one. Number one only because it's the first one, of course, but because they're all equal. Daniela De Sá, founder and creative director of Naja Fashion. Headquarter is Cascais, Portugal. Fashion is the sector. It's a seed round of 250,000 USD. Daniela, thank you so much for coming. If you want to give an introduction to yourself, and after you go straight to pitch, and Tom will follow up.
Okay, thank you, Max. So I will share my presentation, and give me just a minute. Oh, okay. Thank you, because my introduction is in the beginning of the pitch. So we offer luxury footwear and crafted with family tradition, using technology rooted in sustainability. I am the fourth generation of shoemakers in Portugal, and we used to work for brands like Gucci and Versace and high fashion brands in Europe. So I earned my experience with the family business. So at this moment, the big problem in the fashion industry is that 87% of the fashion production is wasted, and fashion wastes trillions of water every year. And the use of chemicals is highly making damage in our planet. So the biggest opportunity is that 67% of luxury consumers are now looking for sustainability, and there is a lack of fashion brands focus on sustainability and use this traditional production in luxury. And this market is growing 10% every year. So about our solution, using pre- and post-consumer fashion waste, including plastic from the ocean, using technology, we can transform recycled and recyclable new raw materials like soles, yarn, fabrics, and paper, and we use it in our collections. Our collection is already available. The potential of the market is growing every year, and 67% of the market share belongs to small independent luxury brands, which we don't know. And we are aiming by 2035 to reach 200 million in market share for Naja Fashion. Our position comparing to our competitors is focused on sustainability and use these luxury production methods earned and learned in the family business. Our business model is focused on online market and offline market. Of course, the margins are very different. We have biggest margins in online market and lower margins in offline market, but are both available. And we are aiming to have 2 collections per year. Our biggest milestones is invitation for New York Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week, and invitation to be part of the Excellence Brands Association in Portugal. So our goal is to ask for 250K, focus on marketing and business development. Our world impact, we are supporting with 10% of the sales women in India that are working on the recycling of fashion disposal. Every pair, we are upcycling 10 plastic bottles collected in the ocean, and using organic cotton for the lining, we are supporting farmers to have better life conditions. So this is our proposal, and we invite you to join Naja.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Daniel.
Oh, sorry,
Tom,
go ahead.
I leave everything to you.
I took it. Thank you, Daniela. I think good pitch. I think you have a pretty standard structure. It's difficult, this kind of business, because the kind of pitch that we receive as a like venture capital, etc. They usually go into like a more scalable equity. Like luxury is its own beast in itself, but you're going into like the DTC, like footwear. There usually is when we receive those kinds of businesses, it's usually they're more mature. They have like they need to fuel something else than their initial growth. So can you give me a sense of how many what's the revenue at the moment? What's the gross margin? How many pairs sold so far? An idea of economics to start with.
I can tell about revenue is around 10 to 50K per month. And gross margin, it depends if it's sell in direct sales or offline sales, but is more or less around 40% to 50%. Okay, so you've got a what's the production cost? The production cost, it's around the 50%. Yeah, but 40% and 50%. But in dollar value. Also enough, yes. Yeah, but what is it in dollar value? Sorry? How much does it cost to produce a single pair of shoes? A single pair is around 80 euros to 100, because it's a small production, so the cost is high. But anyway, it's all handmade, and the quality it's high. No, but it's not crazy if you have a Keystone, at 200, and I imagine you're going to sell it for like an even higher margin to offset on your DTC. That makes sense that it averages out at 40%. And our sell price is 250. Yeah, so you're between 2 and 2.5 x markup. And so you're raising 250K. What's the valuation? 2.8 million. It was a valuation made last year with a company from United States. Okay. After that, I can send you more information if you need. Okay, so you've used the comparable from the US. Yeah. Is that your target market? That's where you want to sell? Yeah. The sales are 95 95% is USA.
Oh, okay. So you're already selling massive in the US. Okay.
Yeah. It's the big client, and it's the client more available to understand the product and wanting to make it different.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Oh, so they actually like the product by itself, but they want to customize it after they've sold.
Yes, and definitely every customer that bought a pair always come back with the family and buy to the family. It's more or less the process, and this word of mouth.
And that's why you need to allocate the money to marketing to create more first buyers to get that like knock on. Okay.
Yes.
I think, thank you for this. I think it's interesting. I would encourage you for this. So that I think the format of the pitch doesn't match the style of the business. Like this is you're using a lot of the formulas, for pitching, with the SAM and TAM and things like that. These are more like for venture backed. I would maybe scale it down a little, and you see those questions that I ask in terms of revenue, etc. So I would add one very, very solid slide about unit economics, because that's what you're going to want to show to an investor, and you're going to probably want to have angels who are maybe a little bit more specialized in the sustainability space or in the fashion space. Simply put, it's very, very good that you've got an inroad into the US. That's like probably the first question that any generalist investor will ask. And I know this is a general pitching exercise, but I would encourage you to show a little bit more your hand in terms of your capacity to make margin, in terms of like just breaking it down. Like you have a 250 euro sales point. How does it break down in value between you, the customer, the etc. distribution channels, and so on, and also making it clear where like what is defensible about the technology, because you showed me this life cycle where you're upcycling materials, etc. Is this something that you do yourself, or do you have a partner, or how do you what is going to prevent LVMH or whoever from entering that market?
At this moment is with partners, and of course we are wanting to develop our own methods, because there is a lot of problems to solve in the fashion industry. But anyway, we know the technology, we know that it's possible, but it's step by step, because the investment is huge. So we also are starting to develop a method to, for example, we have 10 meters of blue fabric. We can take it. We can take the color and keep the color, and recycle material and use again the color. Of course, the blue will have a lighter color, but anyway, it's a circular economy, but it's step by step. So
of course. And
we have some ideas of recycling to put it moving, and also for patenting. Making the patents. But anyway, it's step by step because of the investment.
No, absolutely, and thank you for being transparent on this. I think one thing I would encourage you to do is to put that up front. Maybe it's a slide with a timeline on this is where we are right now. We're working with a partner, and it costs us X% of the total production value for a single unit, and maybe that's the reason why you're raising in the next round as well. Like we are going to need whatever $500,000 to build the technology, to own the technology, and to be able to defend it ourselves. And this is one of the reasons why we are raising. Maybe not in this round, but in the next one. But I'm getting the sense that I need to wrap it up. But like I love your authenticity. You clearly have like 2 or 3 generations of shoemaking, so there's no questioning your your authenticity and your drive. So good job just on that.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Daniela. So let's move to our second funder. Thank you. Willem Maritz, founder of SoloSay. Headquarters UI, Dubai. Future workplace is the sector. It's a pre-seed of 200,000 USD. How's it going, Willem? You're muted.
Hi, Max. Nice to meet you all. Hi, Tom.
Willem, please go to pitch, but before give an intro to yourself, and Tom will follow up. Thank you.
Do you see my slides? There we go. So my name is Willem Maritz. We are building SoloSay, targeting specifically the empowerment of independent workers, which is now the world's fastest growing workforce. I'm sure most of you have a friend who's an artist or maybe a consultant who left the corporate world for independent work. They are great at what they do. They have the skills, but they are struggling to pay the bills. And that's that target demographic that we are targeting and helping to solve and helping them to thrive from their skills. So we have built basically a ecosystem broadly to help them. The market that we are targeting is over 250 million solopreneurs globally. The gig economy is worth over $5 trillion. And solopreneurs is the fastest growing workforce in the world right now. We're serving a huge targeted accessible market. And this market actually has high emotional intent. There are alternative services and offers available, especially in the training field for this market. They have shown that they want to spend and they are keen to spend money on solving their problems and thriving in what they are doing. I'll just highlight a couple of things from this slide. So firstly, if you look at the macro market here, over 40% of the global workforce already operates independently, and that is just growing all the time. Our beachhead market, we are looking to start with the English-speaking global south, where that is probably the fastest growing market right now for solopreneurs. The market opportunity is big, as I say, over $5 trillion, and the gap really is that traditional education prepares people for jobs, but there's not enough helping people, even graduates, prepare for independent work. So what we have done is we put together a platform that not only provides training, so it's not just another course, it's not just another platform, but we integrated everything together with a big community of successful solopreneurs in the back end, acting as our SoloSay legends, putting together a comprehensive solution for our clients. We have three main components in the system, what we call it the success engine, the learning journey, and the momentum coach. The success engine basically is an online mini incubator for solopreneurs. And within that incubator, we even have detailed incubator processes for specific target audience. For example, we have an incubator process specifically for HR consultants who have ex-corporate experience, an incubator specifically for carpenters or hand workers, an incubator specifically for personal trainers. And each incubator has very specific tasks that they need to do step by step. And the hypothesis, if you follow these tasks, if you follow the diligence of setting yourself up as a solopreneur, you will be successful. The success engine is combined with a customized learning journey. We have a catalog that we've built from interviews with a whole set of successful solopreneurs across a lot of sectors from all over the world. And then we have the momentum coach, which is a very strong and effective gamification engine to keep our clients engaged and excited about their journey. So this is important right now because there's a global structural layoff wave driving independent work. The future of work is shifting to independent models. The current graduate preparedness focuses primarily on employability skills and not so much on independent work. There's a strong demand for this independent work, knowing and confidence lacking. So governments are fighting unemployment, and we're offering governments even an alternative to promising jobs, is to help people to start earning. Our business model is firstly a B2C paid subscription model with a very strong sales funnel approach. And then we have 2 B2B channels that we are working on for working with governments in employability or alternative to employability, and also working with universities. We are right now in a minimum viable product stage. We've developed the product and we have the first beta users on, and we are raising a fund now to help us move to the phase where we can prove our unit economies. We're raising $200,000 to move to 1,000 paying B2C clients, 2 B2B pilot projects, and being able to prove our unit economies. So that is us. That's HoloSang. I'm open to questions.
Thank you so much, William. I leave all the questions to Tom.
Thank you, William. I think, just like Daniela's project, I think the world needs something like this. Couple of questions. How do you know you have product market fit in the future or in the present?
Yeah, so this is, I can tell you our plan of actually moving that. So of course, up to now, we've done a lot of interviews. We've worked with a lot of solopreneurs, both as successful solopreneurs working with us and speaking to a lot of solopreneurs in the market that have all confirmed for us this is the type of thing that they use. So we have a fairly strong anecdotal product market fit at the moment, which is not enough. So right now, we will use our funding to actually test 2 very specific target markets or hypothesis markets. So for example, the HR consultant audience, the handyman audience, and as well as the personal trainer audience. So we find very specific audiences, market directly to them, get them on, and see how they respond. The product actually has a very strong evidence chain built into it. So when somebody signs up, we capture where they are right now. And as they take the incubator steps, we track how they are winning with their first clients, increasing their revenue. And that evidence of traction and evidence of results, we keep on feeding into our marketing approach.
How does that translate into a retention rate at 30 days, let's say?
Yeah, so the gamification engine would play a very strong role in that retention. One of the things that we probably have to solve, and I'm not sure if we have that answer yet, is once somebody has finished their incubation process, what do we do? How do we recycle them into maybe the next tier incubation process? So if you've taken the process and you've gone from $5,000 a month to $10,000 a month, how do we recycle you and say, all right, so now there's a higher tier incubator process that will take you to 20,000. So that's probably what we will do.
Yeah, I think exactly. I think it's a B2C, but whether it's a B2C or B2B game, it's a subscription. So the game you're playing is what's my acquisition cost versus long-term lifetime value, and then play with those metrics and optimize retention. I think I would encourage you to make that more apparent in the deck, both in the sense of this is how we're going to acquire new customers on the B2C, B2B sector, and this is how what we expect it to cost us per customer. This is what the LTV we could get out of all of these. because I know you had a slide about marketing, but it's a super competitive market, and you're targeting to audiences that are not always the most receptive to online advertising. Know that from my former job. Another question on the stack. If I'm a solopreneur, let's say I'm a plumber or something like that, what is preventing me from building on an entirely free or semi-free stack consisting of Notion and ChatGPT and plugging? I asked my friend who's a little bit savvy to connect those things for me, and like a school subscription or something like that. What's the advantage here compared to you?
Yeah, sure. I think technically it can be built with vibe coding, but the back-end IP that we have, so in the incubator steps, so there's a lot of IP that comes directly from experienced solopreneurs, so that IP carries a lot of credibility, and that IP is built into the steps and even into how we evaluate each step. So when somebody submits, so let's say, for example, define your target audience. Our AI will give you feedback based on a rubric that is our IP, not just a generic query AI or query ChatGPT. So we've developed rubrics for each step. You submit something that you've tasked, we score you against that, we give you specific feedback and guidance on how to improve. And you won't move on to the next step until you got it right. So it's really about getting things right.
So you're being benchmarked against all of the other solopreneurs in your subcategory in terms of growth. Okay, so
correct.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I would mention those network effects, I think, in the deck, because that also builds into your defensibility. I guess at the end of the day, you're creating a community, and then you monetize that community however you see fit. But that's a good answer.
Correct. And I think the community and our brand around that community will become a strong moat as well, because it's not really about a piece of tech, but we're not there yet.
My co-founder tends to think that it's the only moat. So of course, when you think moat, you think like IP or crazy code, etc. But at the end of the day, where people go and how they behave and whether or not you become a habit for them is the only defensible moat for the very, very long tail. And I like that you're approaching that beachhead of the global south market. It's an untapped market, definitely. It's also probably a lot harder to scale in a defensible manner, because it's such a huge market that there's so much buoyancy that there's going to be 50 different solutions doing more of the same thing. So hopefully you come on top. Who's on the team? Like, are you the technical co-founder? Like, who's building the actual app?
Yeah, I built it myself. I've been and I'm running this as a solopreneur and intend to keep running this as a solopreneur. So of course, there is a much bigger ecosystem of people involved. I am a ex-founder. I've built 2 edtech startups, or I built 3 edtech startups, and I had 2 successful exits and 1 failure.
Okay, that's a good track record. Makes sense. Thank you. No more questions from me.
Thank you so much, Willem. Tom, thank you so much. I'll move on to funders number 3. Wilson Savagnago, CEO, Zeta Brazil System. Pialzino, I hope I had some kind of right pronunciation. Brazil, patent bed, seed round of 1 million in USD. Wilson, thank you so much for coming. If you want to give a short intro to yourself, and after go straight
I'm
to
not
pitch.
listening. Please
Again.
a moment. Only a moment.
Let's wait for Wilson coming back. Just a second. He's back.
I don't know why it's happened this.
Can you hear us now?
Are you listening me?
Yep.
Okay.
Please
Sorry
go.
for the inconvenience.
I believe you need to re-upload your deck probably before starting.
No, it's here.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Perfect.
Please.
I'm Wilson Savinhago. I am CEO of ZLife. ZLife is an AI smart platform for diagnosis of pets. The problems. I have some clients in this segment as Fernanda. Fernanda is a vet, friend of mine, client of mine of other company called the Casa dos Criadores. Fernanda is an experienced veterinarian, but her teams face the following problems: delay in diagnosis, errors in diagnosis, lack of experience, and long waiting lines. It's the same for more vets that I call. What we do. ZLife is the most complete platform for veterinarians. ZLife interprets symptoms, exams, and bring the treatments and suggest medicines for treat pets. I have a problem. I'm not seeing the slides in my screen. I don't know what's happened.
Maybe there's some probably connection. I mean, if you can go without
I can
without
see
seeing the
in
slide,
other
anyway.
screen. We were born for. ZLife is an AI platform for vets designed for smarter care, faster decision, and earning more money. The market size. We have more than 1 million vets in the world. ZLife was born for the world. We created it in English and traduced it for Portuguese and other languages. We have more than 120,000 veterinarians only in the USA. In Brazil, our main market, there is more than 180,000 veterinarians. And this is a market that has a fastest growing market around the world. Our business model. This platform is cheaper. We start with $49 for a month. The platform is revenue monthly for B2B, mainly B2B, but it's B2C too, because we are looking for veterinarians. Our captation of leads and clients is based on universities, SEO, and the main today is Google Ads. This is our team. I'm the founder. The company started only with bootstrapping. And Diane is my partner. He's partner from vesting. We have a difference. Isadora is a vet. He's responsible for the databases of medicines, of disease, everything. This is our competitors. I can show for you that we have as competitor ChatGPT, Gemini, and all the other platforms of AI. But the difference, mainly difference of ZLife is that we have the databases, only databases, because ChatGPT, Gemini look for all the world for the responses, and we have a databases confiable, reliability. We have reliability. Of course, we have other kind of customer competitors. More the ZLife is the most complete platform in the world. We are looking for 1 million, but is the mainly we need this only for the it's 1 million. This 1 million is only for the go-to-market. I know that my time is ended.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Wilson. I leave questions to Tom.
I need to restart again. Please a moment. I have a problem in my. Oh, okay.
Okay, no problem. Go for it.
Work? No work.
Go for it.
Should I start?
Yeah, let's wait for a second for Wilson to come back. Should come back properly,
Right.
hopefully in a few seconds. There's some problem. Connection. Okay.
Sorry.
Let's go.
Better?
Let's go. Sorry, I had a problem with my computer. Don't know.
That's
why.
okay. Thank you, Wilson. Interesting market, like pet health. It strikes me that there's more vets in Brazil. Can you hear me?
I don't listen.
Okay.
We tried for the last time. Otherwise, we need to move.
Can you hear me?
Listen, log out to log in, but you can't hear us, so it's difficult.
Are you listening?
We can hear you.
I don't listen you.
Okay, Calindo, can we move to the next one while we fix? Thank you. Okay, meanwhile we wait for Wilson to coming back with audio. Let's move to Ali Shahil, co-founder of Grona, London, United Kingdom, Martech AI seed of £500,000 in pounds. How's it going, Ali?
Very good. Good afternoon. Good morning, wherever you are.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure. Let me bring up my screen. There we go. All right. So Grona is the company I am a co-founder in. We are all based in London. There's 3 of us, and we all have a consulting background, which I will come to in one of the slides. And this product is coming partly out of the direct pain points and demands we had over the past 10 plus years as consultants, individuals with 30 plus years of practice combined. And we're putting together a solution that has now been enabled with a smart use of AI and the real problems we've observed with our clients over the years. So what is the main problem that we're solving? With AI tools now, creating a website is easy and almost free of cost. But a business does not need only website, it needs that website or that business to grow. So creating a website is easy, growing one is not yet. And what is the state of the market, especially with e-commerce or digital native businesses? Close to 97% of the customers you acquire on your website leave without converting. The bounce rates are around 50 to 60%. Of those that remain, even less will convert. And this is the biggest pain point of especially SMBs, because acquiring traffic is getting more and more expensive, and acquiring traffic is either through Google Ads, Meta, so paid acquisition or partnerships, SEO, GEO. All of that acquisition effort is really falling on its face without first-in-class conversion efforts. Now, this problem is not new. This problem has been solved at the enterprise level, and increasing the conversion on a website means you need to A/B test on a regular basis. You need to personalize so your website speaks to different audiences, and you do targeting and even micro targeting. Both of these A/B testing and personalization needs developers, designers, copywriters, marketing strategists working on a regular basis. That's where the barrier is for the SMB market. So what have we done instead? With Grona, Grona's AI agents are your 24/7 growth team. And what Grona does is, it's as soon as you log in, Grona puts on the expert marketeer hat. It analyzes your off-page acquisition efforts, how your ads rank against your competitors' ads. Are you missing out on an opportunity? Are there some good practices from a marketing consultant perspective that you're missing out on? Then it analyzes how that traffic is converting on your website. Are there dead spots? How does your heat map look like? Where are your attention drop-off points? Maybe your navigation needs to be better. Maybe your header section needs to be improved. Maybe there needs to be more social proof, or there could be a whole variety of changes that your website needs. As a consultant, would advise you. Plus, Grona does a comparison of how your competitors are doing it better than you, probably. So there's grounded, benchmarked approval ideas, or improvement ideas rather. So what Grona does is creates this comprehensive report with recommendations, and once you as a business owner approve those recommendations, Grona goes ahead and implements those recommendations, and that's where the technical heavy lifting happens, because you don't need developers or designers. Grona creates page variations for you, and it deploys them directly without breaking your SEO. So your same URL appears differently depending on the different targeting you would have done, and that's really where the biggest attraction factor is. Grona, in effect, for SMBs, is like having an internal marketing team of 3 or 4 roles, or hiring a marketing agency, all for the cost of $149 a month, which is the starting price. With Grona, every website essentially becomes a smart growth engine. It's your growth marketing team working 24/7. I will answer a question we get quite often. Well, how is this different from ChatGPT or LLMs? It's different in significant ways. First, the advice. The consultant is not a generic one. It gives you conversion and acquisition advice plugged into your CRM or your CDP or your specific marketing data. And second, more importantly, ChatGPT can give you generic advice, all right, but it cannot implement that advice. It cannot create page variations. It cannot launch marketing campaigns, monitor them, analyze the data of those campaigns, and improve the campaigns for the next testing cycle. So that's a huge differentiation. And the third point is our moat also is, as we compound, we gather firsthand conversion data, what works for a Shopify store in Germany compared to the one in the UK, for example. So that proprietary trained intelligence becomes more of a moat as we compound forward as well. I've got a few other slides, but in the interest of time, I'll skip ahead and conclude and be open for questions.
Thank you so much, Ali. I leave all the questions to Tom.
Thank you, Ali. Very good structure for the pitch. I think you're kind of hitting all of the questions. I can tell you've been running this one for a long time. I have to at least partially disagree with you on how well. No, let me phrase this differently. How well do you think your solution can run versus me, a rainy afternoon, and Claude co-work?
What use case do you have in mind?
I have a Shopify website selling whatever alarm systems, and I want to grow my revenue and diminish my CAC, for example.
Okay, so if you are if this is the only thing you want to do for a few days, to set up one experiment, one A/B test, and if you want to manually take your CRM extract, if you want to manually take your last website performance, take it, upload it into CoWork, manually train the agent on all the context and get a test done in like 3 or 4 hours, and ask Cowork to do the changes, and then upload those changes on your website, go into your backend WordPress and whatnot. It's going to take you 3 to 4 hours, depending on how quick you are, between 3 to 5 hours to set up one campaign. And that's definitely not the best use of your time, especially if you're in SMB. Our target market is 500K ARR and above, and you might love it. You might get the dopamine for the first few times, but every test needs to compound. And maybe you can have the data manually work together and expand the context window. You have to do a lot of patchwork, and it's not just that. There's also a patchwork of other tools. Like there's a separate heat mapping tool that Cowork will then need a manual data input. There is traffic analysis from SimilarWeb. There is paid traffic acquisition analysis. Meta, Google, they're all separate. So there's not just Cowork, there's a patchwork of other tools that you will need to manually pull to. It will get to a point where the dopamine will not be enough. You will have to resort to red wine and whatnot, and then you run out of other things to keep you going.
Yeah,
so
and then instead of managing the growth of your website, you're managing the agent that manages the growth of your website.
Exactly.
So, because I like this answer, I don't know if you have the time. You probably don't, but it would be interesting to build a proof point of that. On how long does it take for a homebrew solution to break versus your solution compounds and eventually saves you money.
We've done a few tests, so we've got early users. Our benchmark is from sign up to a live campaign in less than 15 minutes. We've managed 10 with simpler cases as well. And for a recent Shopify client which sold sleep apnea based mouth guard equipment based in the US, we were able to deliver a 40+% increase on their conversion on their baseline in 10 days with a test that was set up. So, I mean, the more time you spend on tweaking and optimizing the campaign, that's a much better return on your time compared to trying to beat our tool in terms of setting it up.
Yeah. What did you look after that 10-day period? Did it keep on did it stabilize or?
So after the 10-day period, so this was a specific product page, you will eventually hit a plateau. The 40% delta shows you the amount of low-hanging opportunities we had. After the so our pitch was you get more return from the same ad spend, which was clearly proven.
Yeah.
After that point, we entered a conversation where we could segment better. So this was a generic across-the-board A/B test. Then we get into personalization. Can we break down that audience and go specific targeting? And that's where we got into. Then it's not 40%, of course, is a headline improvement, but with segmentation, we were in the 15 to 25% range.
Okay, so that's pretty consistent from one sector to another. I mean, you mentioned this like Shopify integrations and things like that, but okay.
Yes.
Makes sense. What's your MRR so far?
So we launched a few months ago. I'm conservative, and we say we're still pre-PMF or near PMF, near PMF, and our MRR is less than 1,000 at the moment.
Okay, which is fine if you're pre-PMF. It means that you have clients that are ready to give you their money and happy with it so far.
Yeah.
Which brings me to say you're a little bit greedy on the valuation at a 5 mil free value.
Yes.
I mean, you've got a domain name in AI, so I can sort of understand, put those two things together. I think that's a bit thin for that kind of valuation, but that's already like past the pitch stage as a kind of feedback. But no, good job on finding the right segment. I love the way you've positioned it against Hotjar and some of the others, like observe can't act or optimize doesn't have the. I don't exactly remember how you framed it, but that's exactly what. I hope you're using that on your sales materials, because that's cool.
Insights versus action. Insights doesn't pay the bills.
Exactly. And you're essentially saving a salary. So yeah, thank you. Good job.
Yeah, that's the vision. You picked it on. It's a labor cost replacement that we want to. That's where we want to end. It's our software cost. We want to sell against labor costs eventually. Replace the growth team.
Makes sense?
Thank you so much, Ali. Tom. I mean, I will try for the last time, indeed the last time, because we don't have more time. Wilson, are you okay?
I believe yes.
Okay,
had-
we have only you have only 2 questions because we are very much running out of time. So Tom will make a couple of questions to you, and after we move.
No
Yes,
problem.
sir. Let me plug my brain back in to my other notes. Thank you, Wilson. So yeah, interesting space. What is your regulatory path to get accepted by veterinarian associations, the law, and so on in different geographies?
Good question. We have no problem with this because we are only a way for helping them. We don't decide nothing. We are only a tool for helping them. We have not regulatory condition. Of course, we have GPDR and LGPDA in Brazil, PIPEDA in Canada, and this is the main regulatory situation that we need to
Well,
have.
you had a chart. You had a chart that displayed diagnosis and prescription, etc. So you know the case could be made that you are recommending certain medications against there's a very fine line. So
Yes, we only recommend we choose the disease, and with the disease we choose in the prescription of the medication of the medicine. We look for every bula. We call bulario in Brazil, and we choose the symptoms and show the best medication.
yes, but that's a recommendation in that case. So
Yes.
I would be very surprised if you didn't need any form of regulatory green light.
For human medicine, we have a lot of recommendation for regulation. For vets, we have not this kind of regulation. In Brazil,
but you mentioned building a global product. I understand the regulatory bar is lower for animal health than it is for humans, but it's not zero. It's definitely not something that I think you can roll out without at least without having it seen by the sanitary authorities.
Yes, is a point for I learn. Okay, I believe I will learn about this.
What's your background? So you mentioned being an entrepreneur. What did you entrepreneur in?
I'm entrepreneur since 2008, and we are serial entrepreneur. I have
In what field?
ERP. Zeta Brazil is the umbrella of the companies. Zeta Brazil is ERP software for anything. We have Zeta Pet, and Zeta Pet is a platform for ERP for veterinarians in the pet stores. We have Zeta Parts for the parts of vehicles. Zeta Pay is a kind of fintech.
Okay,
And
but no background. I understand you have co-founders, etc., but no background yourself in veterinarian, or medical AI. I think it would be helpful to have someone on the board that has that kind of background who can support with the regulatory stuff, because I think there's a couple of areas in the pitch that are missing at the moment, if I'm being frank.
Yes, it is a point, a good point for remember. I look for this.
Okay, thank you. I had 2 questions, not more. I have plenty more, but Max, over to you.
we have 5 minutes to go. Thank you so much,
Thank
Wilson. I stay there because we're bringing all the other 3 founders. And we close, as we always do, with 10 seconds elevator pitch. So you must convince Tom and any investors watching today why should they invest in you. So let's start with Daniela. Daniela, in 10 seconds.
Thank you. So I'm a motivated founder because I'm also honoring 100 years of fashion industry, producing shoes in the family business. And definitely, I know very well the process. I know very well how to put the product in the market. It's only a little push with this initial investment to go and move forward with this connection between fashion, sustainability, and impact in the planet.
Thank you, Daniela. Willem.
Yeah, I have built 3 EdTech startups before. I had 2 successful exits. One did not work. And after my last exit, I actually went into being a solopreneur myself. So I've lived the world of solopreneurship for the last 3 years. I know exactly what the problems are that I'm solving for. So I have both the domain expertise and skills for solving here and also a good track record as an entrepreneur.
Thank you so much, Willem. Wilson.
I believe that you could invest in us because I believe that ZLife is not only a platform, is really a tool for helping vets around the world with a big problem, as I say that about Fernanda.
Thank you so much, Wilson. Ali, you are the closing.
Yes. So productization of services is a trend that's undeniable, and it will inevitably reshape how software and labor budgets overlap. We've got clear winners in the legal, accounting, and healthcare space with well-funded companies fighting for dominance. That hasn't set off in the marketing services space yet. And with Grona, we sit at the last mile of revenue conversion, which is a website channel that S&P's own, and there's nobody competing for the S&P space yet. So with Grona, there's a ground floor opportunity to really back what could potentially be a category leader.
Thank you so much, Ali. So we are close to close. And Tom, I don't know if you want to give the last advice, generally talking to the founders, and after we close.
Sure. Thanks, everyone. Great energy. I could tell that you are all passionate about your project. One thing, this is not linked to anyone in particular here. What I see in a lot of pitches, and this is for the would-be founders in this room as well, that there's a lot of pitch decks that try to sell me their product, and you could make a sale out of pitching the product, but you're here to present an economic opportunity. So spend more time convincing me that you're the one to solve the problem, and less what is the solution to the problem. Because what investors are looking for generally is how unreplicable is what this person is doing. This is not linked to anything I've seen today, but just random thought at the end of the day from an investor that sees this a lot. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Wilson, Willem, Daniela, Ali, and of course, Tom. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Anybody wants to come to pitch, just send an email to pitch@equitymatch.com, and we would love to have you with us. Thank you. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Max.